G'day everybody, this is Pitbull and Nut, the Australian guy, going for a scooter ride today up a mountain. As you can see just up ahead here, there's a mountain range in the distance. Up there is a communications tower, it's called Cotto Peak. It's about 10 miles away, and we're going to try and get there on my Kiwa scooter with a single charge. Now I've seen the end of this video, I know what happens, I won't spoil it. But right here, we're flying along the highway. We have about 1.5 miles to go into town, and we're in third gear with only one motor engaged. With one motor engaged on the highway, I get up to about 35 to 40 mile an hour, depending on the wind. I'm a big guy, I'm about 180 pounds, so it is pulling quite a weight, and I get to go just slower than the cars, but if I was to kick it up into two motors, I can do almost 50 mile an hour. Cruising along these country roads is good. It's 35 mile an hour speed limit, so I keep up with the traffic. I'm just slower than the traffic. I like to let them go by me when I can. The Kiwa has no problem getting up this hill in third gear with just one motor engaged. It is so much fun, the freedom of flying along on these scooters. These country roads are kind of built for scooters. It's only 2 miles to town in any direction, and so a little device like this is perfect when I don't want to pay insurance, road tax, abide by many of the road rules. As you can see, the car coming up behind me, I let him pass, but I did keep up with him. So here we go onto the dirt road, and this is where the hill climb starts. It's about a 3,500 foot climb up to the top of the hill, and I was doing third speed, pretty much full power with one motor engaged all the way across town to get to the start of this ride. That, I might say, was my biggest mistake. As you can see, the divots in the road don't really stop the Kiwa. Unfortunately, I can't look down at the speed and tell you what speed I'm doing, because then I don't see the divots coming. It's no preparation, you tend to end up in the bottom of them. But with the suspension, the 1.5 inch travel of the suspension, I find that speed bumps and potholes and small rocks and sticks on the ground are no problem. Being electric, the silence, being able to zip through the forest, hearing all kinds of birds and animals, it comes a bit of a surprise when you come across a deer who doesn't hear you coming. Just recently, having fixed the brakes, I'd like to shout out to Kiwa. Thank you for sending me the parts I need to fix the brakes and fix my rear mudguard and my kickstand that all kind of stopped working pretty quickly. The brakes just needed bleeding. There was no problem with them. It was just air bubbles in the line somewhere. No big problem once I understood how to fix it. The rear mudguard, it snapped off. The vibrations were a little bit excessive for it, I guess. I'm expecting that's going to be a recurring problem. And the kickstand, well, that was kind of my fault. It froze during the snow we had recently, and I wanted to go for a ride in the snow, and I gave it a bit of an extra kick because it was a bit stiff, and it seems to have broken a little plastic piece that was inserted above the string. So right about here, I realized that second gear is needed, and so I'm taking off now in dual motor second gear, I have to say the second gear is absolutely fast enough. If I kick it into third gear for these straight stretches, it's fun, but the corners are a little bit hectic with third gear. The dual motor is quite insane. The number of stones kicked up by the front motor is crazy. Has absolutely no problem going through anything. The biggest problem we have here is hanging on. Again, I don't know how fast I'm going. I would estimate somewhere between 20 and 30 miles an hour, but looking down to see the speedometer is just kind of insane. Again, you don't see the potholes coming. As you can see, climbing the hills here is no problem for the Kiwi. Coming up into a nice open field. It was a beautiful day yesterday when I filmed this. Another fine day today. I hope I'm getting a chance to go back up and have another run at the peak. This time I won't be riding the scooter across town. I'll be driving across town and hitting the hill full charge. I like to time myself getting up the hill and back down again. Now the brakes are fixed. And my safety gear, I have a shirt with armor for my shoulders, chest, elbow pads, all included. Obviously I wear a helmet, motorbike gloves, good boots, and nice long pants, so if I come off I keep as much skin as possible to myself. I'm not particularly familiar with this road, which is why I am holding back a little bit. Today's run I hope to have telemetry organized and maybe even a third camera with a car chasing me. I'd really like to make a bash at this hill and see if I can get all the way to the top and back down again without falling down. Shout out to the beautiful forests of Mendocino County up in Northern California. It's been quite cold here recently. Winter's just passing. Spring is upon us. But up here on the hills, as you see in a few minutes, surprise, surprise, we still had some snow. It's been cold up here. It's been unseasonably late snow, which has set back my riding a little bit, but now things are clearing up. There's a bunch of trails through the redwoods, up through the mountains. I hope to have a go at attack on my Q-Power scooter. Patches of mud on the ground, a few patches of water. Although it gets a bit slick, the scooter has no problem going through. Big knobby tyres are a godsend. See the dual motors just eat through these hills, the dirt trails, bumpy roads, no problem. Biggest holdback on this, on the performance, is the operator skill. 50 years old and not built for bouncing around on the floor like I was when I was a kid, but I'm sure those young kids in the X Games would give these proper throttle. major factors in buying my Key with Q-Power was the off-road capabilities. As you can see, I live in the forest, I live around the forest, I live on country roads, and I spend as much time on dirt as I do on the sealed road, and therefore having the suspension and the big knobby tires has allowed me to go places that the average dual power super speed fast, so I won't mention the brand here, but some locally produced brands, or at least locally sold branded brands. I'm very happy with my Q-Power. And again, shout out to the factory. They have been helping me out with videos on how to repair them. It is only a new scooter. It has teething problems. Again, the bubble in the hydraulics for the brakes, I don't believe that was a big problem. It's just something that happened, and fixing that was a good experience to learn how to repair the scooter. The factory has come forward and replaced the mudguard that broke, just the vibrations. It's thin metal, a couple of thin welds, and I believe there's a weak point there that is kind of unavoidable without a redesign of the mudguard. But I won't hassle them too much on that. But they have been very good. They didn't charge me for the parts. It hasn't been that long since I've had the scooter, so I thank them for that. But I expect, again, the mudguard will be a recurring problem. Start to see some snow on the ground. We are getting up to altitude. This is a 4,500 foot peak. Again, I won't give you a spoiler to tell you how close I get to the top, but I will tell you that I don't make it. Unfortunately, my ride across the town was at full speed, and it drained the batteries just a little too much to get me all the way up and back again, which wasn't a problem except for this section which goes back down from the peak, and walking back up this again was a bit of a hassle. What a beautiful view. Here it is starting to get a little bit slick and slippery. There's, as you can see, quite a bit of snow on the ground now. Not quite a bit, but there's snow on the ground, and where it's running off, it's getting a little bit slick and muddy. But again, the big knobby tires and the 1.5 inch suspension seems to be getting through everything very, very nicely. expected. This is a residential street, although BLM has taken over the house at the very top and turned it into a radio repeater station, and cell phone station, and weather station. Who knows what else they have up there. NSA is listening. Hello to Big Brother. If I really had have wanted to make it to the top, obviously going a little bit slower would have saved batteries. Also, a big shout out to the electric scooter for letting me get through this gate. I've come up here on a couple of different devices and it's been not possible to go all the way simply because this gate is always locked. Sneaky, sneaky. Let's not tell BLM. Now, if you want to make the scooter last longer distance-wise, you just need to go a little bit slower, a little bit more conservative with the power. From when I left home all the way up to the top here, I was going pretty much max power, whatever I thought I could handle without ending up on the floor. Unfortunately, the scooter didn't quite have enough power to get me where I was going. I stopped just here at the top of the hill. The first instance of it cutting out was right about here. It just lost power for a second, and then it went another 50 or 60 feet and then it was completely dead. So with the lithium-ion batteries, remember the power curve is very flat for a very long time. It drops off just a little bit to start and then very flat right up until it's dead, and then it's dead. Whereas acid batteries will have a much more gradual decline, and towards the end the motor will start to underperform. However, with the lithium, as you can see, you have full power right up until the batteries stop. Being more conservative will get you extra distance. Unfortunately for me, I was very not conservative and I made it to within, I'm guessing maybe a quarter mile of the top. But it was a 12.9 mile journey on one charge at full speed. For most of the trip I was going up hills. I did about a 4,000 foot climb, maybe a 3,500 foot climb, and then I had to walk home. So we'll see you next time. Have a great day. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel.